Namaste everyone, and welcome to this energizing yoga flow class, or shall I say an energizing yoga flow class with a toddler. So you can see Isabella's decided to join us today. So this is a good class to do on the days when you're feeling a little bit tired and a little bit sluggish and you just want a little bit of an energy boost. So instead of reaching for a coffee or an energy drink, this might be a good alternative to wake yourself up. So let's begin. So let's begin seated with our legs crossed. Place your hands on your knees, roll your shoulders back and down, tuck your chin, maybe close your eyes, and we're just going to begin by taking a few deep breaths. So inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. Once again, inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. So we're just trying to bring attention and awareness back to the present moment. On your next inhale, lift both hands up, stretch through the fingertips. And on an exhale, place your left hand on your right knee, right hand behind you, twisting to the right. So you can also place your left hand directly in front of you if it's not comfortable on your knee. On an inhale, see if you can lengthen your spine up. And exhale, maybe twist a little bit deeper, and you can use your left hand here to help you twist a little bit further. Take one more breath here, and on an exhale, come back to center and we'll switch sides. So inhale, lift both hands up, stretch through the fingertips, and exhale, place your right hand on your left knee this time, left hand behind you, twisting to the left. And again, if for any reason it's not comfortable on your knee, you can place your right hand directly in front of you. Inhale, lengthen your spine up, and exhale, see if you can twist a little bit deeper. But just be mindful, it's our first posture, so we're just warming up the spine here. So don't go too far. Inhale, and on an exhale, come back to center. On an inhale, one more time, lift both hands up. Exhale, right hand to the mat. Left arm over your left ear. We're taking a side bend to the right. So really stretch through the left fingertips here. Feel the stretch in the left side of the body. And you can lower onto your right elbow if you want to. This would deepen the stretch a bit more, or stay up on the hand. It's up to you. Inhale, come back to center. And then lift both hands up and go the opposite way. So left hand on the mat, right arm over your right ear. And again, you can play around here. You can maybe lower onto your left elbow, but just make sure your sit bones are not lifting off the mat. Take an inhale, stretch through the fingertips. Exhale, come back to center. Take an inhale here. On an exhale, start folding over your legs. So lower your chest down, stretch your fingertips forwards. Take an inhale, lengthen the spine, and exhale, fold forwards over your legs. So just be mindful here, it's a deep stretch for the hips and the lower back. So just go as far as comfortable for you. Take one more breath here, and then walk your fingertips back towards your body and switch the cross of your legs, and we'll do the same posture again. So take an inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold forwards over the legs. And again, just walk your fingertips forwards, lower your chest down, maybe your forehead down on the floor. Doesn't matter if it doesn't reach the floor, just feel the stretch here. And Isabella's come to say hello. Take an inhale, and on an exhale, walk your fingertips back towards your body. Place your hands on your knees, cross your legs again, switch the cross, and then we'll do cat-cows in a cross-legged posture. So you're going to inhale and arch the spine and look forwards. And on an exhale, round the back and look down, chin to chest. Inhale, look forwards, arch the spine. And exhale, round the back and look down. You can have your child on your legs if you've got one. Inhale one more time, arch the spine and look forwards. On an exhale, round the back and look down. Feel the stretch, especially in between the shoulder blades here. And then come into neutral position. And we're just going to circle the body one way and then the other. So pretend like you're stirring something with your body. You're going all the way around one direction. Let's do 3 circles here. Inhaling and exhaling back to center. And then you'll switch sides. So circle your body the opposite way, all the way around, tilting forwards and back, feeling the stretch in the spine and the hips here. One more time, work with your own breath. And then come back into neutral position. Brilliant. And then just place your fingertips back behind you, roll your shoulders back and down and lift your chin and your chest up. Just a tiny little back bend here. Nice deep inhale. And then on an exhale, come back to neutral. And then roll onto your hands and knees into a tabletop position. Shoulders over your wrists, hips over your knees. And we'll do a few cycles of cat-cow in this position. So inhale, arch the spine, lift your chest and your chin, look up, round the back and look down on an exhale. One more time, inhale, arch the spine, chest and chin up, look up. Exhale, round the back and look down. Excellent stretch for a spine mobility. Last time, inhale, arch the spine, look up. Exhale, round the back and look down, chin to chest if you can. And then on an inhale, come back into a neutral position. Stretch your left hand forward, right leg back. On an inhale, lift off the floor if you can. Get your balance, and then exhale, see if you can bring your knee to elbow. 1. Inhale, stretch forwards. Exhale, knee to elbow. 2. Inhale forwards, and then knee to elbow. 3. And then lift your leg and your arm forwards. Lower your hand down on the mat. And then spin your left heel out to the side and come into a modified side plank. So you're on the left knee, right leg's lifting up, right hand's up towards the ceiling or the sky. You can gaze up towards your fingertips or gaze down for balance. And then see if you can come up onto your left knee, your right leg still stretching to the side. Lift both hands up on an inhale. On an exhale, lower your left hand down your left heel, right arm up, and take a tiny little back bend here. If this is too challenging, you can always keep your left hand on your hips rather than your heel. Take an inhale, lift both hands up, and exhale, come back into a tabletop position and we'll switch sides. So right hand forward, left leg back, inhale, get your balance, lift everything off the floor. And then on an exhale, knee to elbow. 1. Inhale, stretch. Exhale, knee to elbow. 2. Inhale, stretch. Exhale, knee to elbow. 3. And then inhale, stretch. Keep your left leg lifting, right hand down on the floor. And then just spin your right heel to the side and come into a modified side plank. So your left leg still lifting. Left arm up, fingertips to the sky, inhale. And then see if you can come up onto your right knee this time. Left leg's out to the side, inhale, lift both hands up. And then exhale, your right hand down your right leg. See if you can grab hold of your right heel. Left arm's lifting up. And take a tiny little back bend here. And again, you can place your right hand down your lower back or your hips. If it's too challenging to place it on your heel, take one more inhale. On an exhale, come back into a tabletop position. And from here, just sit back in a child's pose. So sit back on your heels, stretch your arms forwards, and take a nice deep breath here. And then move your hands to the right side of your mat. Keep your hips on your heels and just feel the stretch in the left side of the body here. 1 breath here, and then switch sides. So move your hands to the left side of your mat, keeping your sit bones on your heels. Feel the stretch in the right side of the body this time. Nice deep breath here. And then exhale, come back to center into a child's pose. Feel the stretch in your shoulder blades. And then keep your right hand down on the mat and thread your left arm through your right. And see if you can lower your left shoulder and your left ear on the floor. If this is too challenging, you can always lift up a little bit and just thread your arm through far enough to feel a good stretch in the left shoulder. So you don't have to lower all the way down if that's not comfortable. But if you can, see if you can lower everything down on the floor. One more breath here and then switch sides. So left hand down on the mat, right arm is threading through your left, and then you're lowering your right shoulder and your right ear on the floor. Take a nice deep breath here, and again you can lift up a little bit if this is too challenging. You're twisting from the upper body, so try and keep your lower body where it is, so not moving your hips off the heels. Take an inhale, and then exhale, come back into tabletop position. Tuck your toes under and lift your hips up into a downward facing dog. So our first downward facing dog of the practice, you can keep a good bend in your knees and just lower one heel down on the floor and then the other, alternating between the heels, stretching the back of the legs. Make sure your shoulders are not pressing against your ears, and stretch through the fingertips into your lower back and then back to your heels. Take an inhale, look between your hands and step your feet to your hands. And then bend your knees as much as you need to. Lower your chest down onto your thighs. And then place your hands either behind your calves, so grabbing hold of the back of your legs, or maybe you can grab hold of your elbows and just sway side to side. Just releasing any tension we've got in the spine, so make sure there's no tension in your head and your neck. And then roll all the way up to standing, one vertebra at a time. Your neck and your head are the last ones to come up. Take an inhale here, roll your shoulders back and down, arms by your sides, palms facing forward, Tadasana mountain pose. From here, place your hands on your hips and sit back in a chair pose. Lift your hands up when you're ready and just make sure you're hip width apart with your feet. Your knees are not going over your toes. Take a nice deep inhale here. Weight is in your heels, back is nice and straight. Nice active posture. And on an exhale, fold forwards over your legs. And then make a flat back and look forward. See if you can straighten your legs. Exhale, take a big step back with your left leg. Lower your left knee down onto the floor. Keep your toes tucked or release them for a deeper stretch in the left thigh. Make sure your right knee is over your right ankle, and then on an inhale, lift both hands up. Stretch through the fingertips. And you can maybe join your palms together here and take a little back bend if you want to. Back bends are very energizing. And then inhale, come back to neutral. On an exhale, open your arms out to the sides. Take an inhale and then twist to the right, so your right hand's back, left hand forwards. And then lower your right hand down your left leg, left arm over your left ear, so a little back bend and a twist. Take an inhale here. On an exhale, lift your right hand up again, inhale, and then see if you can straighten your right leg and fold forwards over your right leg, placing your hands on your thigh, maybe your shin, maybe fingertips on the floor. Wherever you are, look forwards, make a flat back, inhale, and on an exhale, fold forwards. Try and keep your back nice and long, so try not to round too much. You can keep the toes flexed on the right foot as well for a slightly deeper stretch at the back of the leg. And then rebend the right knee, tuck the toes on your left foot, lift your left knee off the floor. And then place your fingertips in front of your right foot and see if you can lift your left leg up into a standing splits pose. Take an inhale here. You don't have to lift very high, just experiment here. And then bring your left foot to meet your right. Inhale, make a flat back and look forwards. Maybe hands on your shins or fingertips on the floor. Exhale, sit back in that chair pose, so lift both hands up. Make sure your knees are not going over the toes, and then inhale, come all the way up to standing, straighten your legs, maybe take a little back bend here, and exhale, hands by your sides. One more time, hands on your hips, sit back in the chair pose, and then inhale, lift both hands up, and exhale, fold forwards over your thighs one more time. Inhale, make a flat back and look forwards, and then exhale, step back with your right leg this time, lowering the right knee on the floor, high Isabella. Keep your toes either tucked or release for a deeper stretch in the right hip. Make sure your left knee is over your left ankle. Inhale, lift both hands up and stretch through the fingertips. And again, you can join your palms together here if you want and take a tiny little back bend, or just stay upright if that's too challenging. Take one more breath. Inhale, on an exhale, open your arms out to the sides. Take an inhale, and on an exhale, we're twisting to the left. So left hand behind, right hand forwards, and then drop your left hand down your right leg this time, right arm over your right ear, a little back bend and a twist. One more breath here. And then inhale, lift your left hand up. And exhale, see if you can straighten your left leg this time and fold over your left leg, placing your hands on your thigh, your shin, fingertips on the floor, just wherever you can reach. Inhale, lengthen the spine, look forwards, and exhale, fold forwards. And again, see if you can keep your toes flexed. And then rebend the left knee, lift your right knee off the floor, place your fingertips just in front of your left foot, and see if you can lift your right leg up into a standing splits pose. Back nice and straight, inhale, and then release your right foot to meet your left. Inhale, make a flat back, look forwards. Exhale, fold forwards. Sit back in that chair pose for a breath. Lift both hands up. And then inhale, straighten your legs, come up. And exhale, hands by your sides. On an inhale, lift both hands up, stretch through the fingertips. Exhale, bend your elbows out to the sides, cactus arms. Lift your chest and your chin up. Inhale, lift both hands up. And exhale, fold forwards over your legs. Try and keep your legs nice and straight. Inhale, make a flat back and look forwards. And exhale, fold forwards. Place your hands flat on the mat and step back into a plank. And then lower your knees down onto the mat. And then keeping your elbows in, lower all the way down. Inhale, lift your chest up into a low cobra. Lift here for a breath. And then exhale, lower back down onto the mat. Tuck your toes under and lift your hips up into a downward facing dog. So really stretch through your hands here into your shoulders, lower back and your heels. On an inhale, lift your right leg up. And then bend your right knee and roll your right hip on top of your left, stretching the hip here. Inhale, straighten your leg, and then exhale, right knee to chest, and step your right foot in between your hands. Take an inhale here, just adjust the distance between your feet, and on an exhale, see if you can straighten your right leg into a pyramid pose. So work it in the direction of straight, doesn't matter if you need to keep a little bend in your knee, and then lower your chest over your leg. Place your fingertips on the floor. Inhale, and then rebend the right leg on an exhale. Inhale, come all the way up to standing, lift both hands up. One breath here. On an exhale, open into warrior two. So right toes are pointing forwards, left toes are pointing out about 90 degrees. On an inhale, left hand down your left leg, right hand over your right ear, reverse warrior. And exhale, right elbow to your right knee, left arm up, side angle. And you can lower your right fingertips onto the floor on the inside of your right foot if you like, for a slightly deeper stretch. On an inhale, come back into warrior two, and then straighten your right leg, stretch forwards with your right fingertips and lower your right hand down one more time on your right leg. Left hand up, triangle pose. One breath here, and then come all the way up to standing. Rebend the right knee, and then circle your hands back down onto the mat and step your right foot back into a plank. Lower all the way down onto the floor, knees up or down, your choice. Release your toes and inhale, lift up into a high cobra this time. So see if you can straighten your arms, elbows in, shoulders back and down. Inhale. And on an exhale, release, tuck your toes under and press back into a downward facing dog. So we're going to do the same sequence on the other leg. So on an inhale, lift your left leg up. And then bend your left knee and roll your left hip on top of your right, stretching the hip here. Inhale, straighten the leg into three-legged dog. Exhale, bend your knee, bring your knee to your chest and step your left foot in between your hands. And then take an inhale, and on an exhale, see if you can start working your left leg in the direction of straight in a pyramid pose. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold forwards over your left leg. Fingertips on the floor. If you need to come up a little bit, by all means do. Rebend the left knee and inhale, lift your hands up. High lunge. Take a breath here. On an exhale, we're going to open into warrior two. So spin your hands out to the sides, left fingertips pointing forwards. Right toes are spinning 90 degrees. Inhale, reverse the warrior, right hand down your right leg, left arm over your left ear. Exhale, side angle, so you can place your left elbow on your left knee first, or lower your fingertips all the way to the ground. Right fingertips to the sky. You can follow up with your gaze or gaze directly in front of you. Inhale, come all the way up into warrior two, and then straighten the left leg. Stretch forwards with your left fingertips and lower your left fingertips down your leg again. Right hands up, triangle pose. And try and stretch both sides of your body equally, so lengthen forwards. Take an inhale, exhale, come all the way up. Rebend the left knee, circle your arms down to the floor and step back into a plank. Knees up or down, entirely up to you. Lower all the way down into cobra, or maybe you can do up dog this time. So your legs are off the floor, so you're balancing on your toes, the tops of your feet, and your thighs are off the mat. And exhale, downward facing dog. One deep breath here. Gaze between your legs. On an inhale, look between your hands and step your feet to your hands. On an exhale, fold forwards. Exhale, come all the way up to standing. Lift both hands up. And exhale, hands by your sides, mountain pose. From here, take a big step back with your right leg. Point your toes out about 45 degrees. We're coming into a squat. So place your hands on your thighs, fingertips down, and sit back on your heels. And then drop your left shoulder in and look over your right shoulder, and then switch sides. So we're just stretching the shoulders here. So one more time, left shoulder in, look over your right shoulder, stretch, and then switch sides. Look over your left shoulder, right shoulder is out now. Inhale, come back to neutral. Straighten your legs, lift both hands up. Inhale, and then exhale, come back into a squat, hands and pray in front of your chest. You can maybe lift your toes off the floor just to make sure your weight's in your heels. Balance here. One breath, inhale, lift both hands up. And then exhale, point your toes directly forwards and fold forwards. Try and keep your back nice and long again. Inhale, lift your chest and look forwards, and exhale, fold forwards. Hands flat on the mat if you can, or fingertips to the floor. Try and keep your legs nice and straight. And if your hands are on the floor, see if you can move them back a little bit. On an inhale, look forwards and bend your right knee, sit back on your right heel. Hug your child if you've got one. So we're stretching the left inner thigh here, so you can keep your left leg straight, toes are nice and flexed, hands in prayer in front of you if you want to, and then you can deepen the posture by stretching your right fingertips forwards, left fingertips to the sky, inhale, and on an exhale switch sides, so bend your left knee, sit back on your left heel, right leg straight, toes pointing forwards, bring your hands in prayer in front of your chest, inhale. And then you can deepen your posture by placing your left fingertips forwards, right fingertips up to the sky, inhale, and exhale, hands back and prayer in front of your chest. One more time, forward fold, inhale, and then maybe grab hold of your big toes and open your elbows out to the sides, a deeper stretch for the shoulders. So you should really feel it in between your shoulder blades, the back of your legs, your lower back, excellent stretch here. No tension in your neck, so make sure your neck's nice and relaxed. And now the cat's coming. Everyone's joining today. One more breath here. And then come all the way up to standing, hands on your hips. And see if you can step towards the front of your mat in one big step. Inhale, lift both hands up, stretch through the fingertips. Exhale, fold forwards, legs nice and straight. Inhale, fingertips on the floor or hands on your shins, look forwards. Exhale, fold forwards. Hands flat on the mat, step back into plank. Knees up or down, lower all the way down. And then stretch your hands in front of you and lift your hands up. So they're maybe about a couple of inches off the ground, and hold here, inhale. And then exhale, bend your elbows 90 degrees and lift your chest here, inhale. On an exhale, see if you can stretch your arms back, palms facing down, lift. And then place your hands underneath your shoulders and lower your forehead down on the mat, just rest here for a breath. And then inhale, come all the way up into downward facing dog. Stretch here. You can maybe lower your heels on the mat this time. You should feel nice and warm by now, so maybe your hamstrings are a bit more flexible. And then come back into a plank, lower all the way down onto the mat one more time. Stretch your arms forwards, inhale, lift. And then maybe you can lift your legs as well. Doesn't have to be very far. Then bend your elbows and lift your chest up, cactus arms. Inhale, exhale, arms back behind you, palms facing down, lift. And then lower everything down, hands underneath your shoulders and press back into downward facing dog one more time. Take a nice deep breath here, use your down dog as a resting pose. Rupert's just walked right through my downward dog. And then lower your knees back down onto the mat, cross your legs and stretch your legs out in front of you. So we're done with the standing sequence of the practice. We're now coming into our seated sequence. So keep your left leg stretched out on the mat and bend your right knee, bring your knee towards your chest, hug it in, and then place the sole of your right foot into your left thigh, so your right knee's pointing out to the side. Take an inhale. Lengthen your spine, and on an exhale, fold forwards over your left leg. Try and keep your hips squaring forwards and your left leg nice and straight. One more inhale here, and then exhale, release. Place your right foot over your left knee so it's on the outside of your left knee, and hug your knee in for a breath. And then bend your left knee and bring the left foot towards your right hip. Take an inhale. On an exhale, right hand behind you, take a twist to the right. And you can deepen the twist by inhaling and stretching your left arm up, and on an exhale, placing the left elbow over the right knee to help you twist a little bit deeper. And then release. Give your legs a bit of a shake And we'll repeat the same postures on the other side. So keep your right leg stretching out, bend your left knee, place your left foot in your right thigh this time, opening your left knee out to the side. Take an inhale, lengthen the spine, and on an exhale, fold over your right leg this time. Try and keep your spine nice and long. Square your hips forwards and just place your hands wherever you can reach. Doesn't matter how far down your leg you go. Isabella's giving me nice pats here, encouraging me. And my mum's in the background doing some gardening. It's all happening in this video. So just hold this posture one more time. Sorry, I had to come out because of Isabella. One more breath. And then place your right leg over your left knee and bend your right knee and place your right foot towards your left hip. And we're going to take that twist to the left this time. So left hand behind you, lift your right arm up on an inhale, and on an exhale you can hook your right elbow over your left knee for a deeper stretch or deeper twist, or you can just keep your hand on your knee if this is not comfortable for you for any reason. On your inhale, lengthen your spine up, and exhale, see if you can maybe twist a bit deeper. Take one more breath here and exhale, release. Stretch your legs forwards one more time, give them a bit of a shake, and then cross your legs and come back into tabletop and press back into downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your right leg up, bend your right knee and roll your right hip on top of your left, and then see if you can drop your right leg back behind you into a wild thing. So your left arm is up and you're taking a nice back bend here. One more inhale, and then on an exhale come into a plank and bring your right knee towards your right hand, left foot towards your left hand, pigeon pose. So I've got really tight hips, so my shin is never parallel to the mat. So the closer you have your right foot to your left hip, the less of a stretch you'll feel. Mine's pretty close to the hip because, like I said, my hips are not great, but play around here and see what feels good for you. You can stay up on your hands or you can lower onto your elbows, maybe lower your forehead down on the floor. Toes are tucked or released on your left foot, but try and keep your foot flexed, the right foot flexed if you can. That will protect your knees in this pose. It's a nice deep hip opener here. And today is a quick practice, so we won't hold it for very long, but if you've got time, I recommend holding pigeon for a couple of minutes on each side a day if you can. Inhale, lift into three-legged dog, and then exhale back into downward facing dog, and we'll do the same postures on the other side. So left leg up on an inhale, roll your right hip on top of your left, bend your left knee, and then drop that left foot behind you, wild thing. Left arm stretching over your ear, inhale. Nice back bend here, very energizing. And then come back into plank on an exhale. Bring your left knee towards your left wrist and your left foot towards your right wrist into a pigeon pose on this side. And again, just experiment here. With me, I'm a lot worse on this side. You thought you couldn't get any worse, but here we are. My hips are not very good. I think it's all the horse riding that I've been doing over the last God knows how many years. But anyway, so I struggle on the left hip, but just experiment here. Come out of the pose and move your foot wherever is comfortable for you. The stretch should feel pleasant, maybe a little bit challenging, but never painful. So if you feel any pain or discomfort, just back out. Take one more breath here and then come up, back into three-legged dog. Lift your left leg up and exhale, downward facing dog. Nice stretch here, gaze between your legs. And then lower your knees back down onto the mat, and we're going to come up on our knees into a camel pose, so another back bend here. So you can start by placing your hands on your hips, fingertips pointing down, and you can take a tiny little back bend here, or if you want to go a bit deeper, lower your hands onto your heels. And you can drop your head back if this is comfortable for your neck. But if at any point you feel any discomfort in your neck or your lower back, just come up and place your hands on your lower back instead, modifying the posture. You shouldn't feel any pain. Take another inhale, and then on an exhale, come back up and press back in a child's pose. And you can have your hands just by your sides, palms facing up. Take an inhale, and then on an exhale, come up and stretch your legs out in front of you. Place your feet down flat on the floor, knees bend, and then with control, lower all the way down onto the floor. Final few postures here. So hands flat on the mat, feet are hip width apart. Take an inhale, and on an exhale, start lifting your lower back off the floor into a bridge pose. So just make sure your knees are not collapsing, they're pointing directly forwards. Take an inhale here, exhale, release, and bring your knees into your chest quite loosely, and just rock along the spine and release your lower back. We'll do the same posture one more time, so you can either have your hands by your sides and lift up into the same bridge posture, or if you want to go a little bit deeper, you can interlace your hands behind your back and roll onto your shoulders for a bit more of a shoulder stretch. So I've got an extra weight on my hips because Isabella's decided to come and sit on me. So whatever variation you want to take, so hands flat on the mat and lift your lower back off the floor, or interlace your hands behind you. And again, if you're feeling any discomfort in your lower back or your neck, just lower back down, bring your knees to your chest and take a rest. Otherwise, hold for a couple more breaths here in whatever variation you're at. I've got an extra challenge here with the child sat on my neck this time. And then lower back down, bring your knees into your chest, rock along the spine, release any tension there. And then open your arms out to the sides, keep your knees bent. Take an inhale, on an exhale, drop your knees to one side. So I'm going to my right first. And see if you can drop them all the way to the floor, keeping your shoulder blades on the mat. So final spinal twist here. Take an inhale, on an exhale, come back to center. Take a breath here and then drop your knees the opposite way. Nice deep breathing here. Take another inhale, and on an exhale, come back to center. And then stretch your legs forwards, let your feet fall out, place your arms by your sides, maybe palms facing up. Close your eyes, and we're just going to relax in Shavasana for a few breaths here, as much as possible if you have a toddler like me. So take an inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. And try and work your way up from your toes to your head. Make sure there's no tension in your body. If you feel like you're tensing any part of your body, bring your awareness to that part and see if you can inhale, and on an exhale, relax. I would encourage you to stay in this Shavasana pose for as long as you've got the time, a couple more minutes if you've got the time at least. Otherwise, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed the practice. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and please like and share this video, as it would really help me grow the channel. And check out some other videos that I've got on the channel. There's some more beginner classes and more intermediate classes. I've only just started the channel, so I'm planning to post more videos in the foreseeable future. Have a lovely day, whatever you're doing, and I hope to see you again soon. Namaste.